Imagine this, you are still following a 160-year-old rule book written in British era back when there were no mobile phones, no internet, no cyber frauds and no social media. Sounds outdated, right? That's exactly what India was doing with the Indian Penal Code IPC 1860. Now times have changed. Crimes are no longer just about theft or murder. Now we talk about cyber crimes, medical negligence, digital documents, and even snatching becoming a separate offense. So to match this new India, a brand new law came into existence. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, that's called BNS. It officially replaced the old IPC on 1st July 2024. So let's understand step by step in this video and see why IPC was replaced, what new changes BNS brought, and also we will discuss some case laws and examples in between. The first and foremost question is the call of reform. Why replace IPC? Think about it, IPC was drafted in 1860 by Lord Macaulay when India was under colonial rule. At that time, society was very different. Technology was non-existent. Even punishments were more about fear and control rather than reform and justice. Over the decades, society changed from medical science to digital technology, even to gender identity recognition. To match this, IPC did not fully keep up. Let's understand cyber crimes with an example. Today, one hacker sitting outside India can loot crores through online fraud. IPC had no clear answers for this. Similarly, fines mentioned in IPC were so outdated that paying them today feels like pocket change. That's why India needed a law that walks with technology, respects modern values, and focuses on reformative justice. So, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 comes in. Second question is, what is the main difference between IPC and BNS? BNS versus IPC. The IPC had 23 chapters with 511 sections, while BNS reorganized and made it clear 20 chapters with 358 sections. So fewer sections but more clarity. Now instead of bulky outdated language, you get structured and modern provisions. What is the key features of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita? To understand these key features of the BNS, we will break it down one by one. So first key feature of BNS is recognition of transgender identity. Earlier, IPC only recognized men and women, but BNS under section 2 clause 10 includes transgender as a gender. This connects to the landmark judgment Nalsa versus Union of India 2014, where Supreme Court recognized the right of transgenders to self-identify. This shows how BNS aligns with today's inclusivity. Second key feature of BNS is it given a separate chapter for women and children, that is chapter 5. BNS groups all offences against women and children together. This includes sexual crimes, marriage-related offences and child-related crimes. But here's a twist. Critics argue that putting women and children in one category may blur their unique needs. For example, just as both women and children face vulnerabilities, this law recognizes their social sensitivity together. But how it works practically, time will tell. Third key feature of the BNS that brought to change is reformative justice, not just punishment. In colonial time, punishment was about fear, but now law also looks at rehabilitation. That's why section 4 introduces community service, a form of punishment for lighter offences or first-time offenders. Imagine someone doing a small theft out of hunger. Instead of throwing them in jail, they may serve the community. This step towards the humanity. Fourth key feature of BNS that brings changes is digital and electronic records as documents. Earlier, documents meant only paper. Now, section 2 clause 8 says documents also include electronic and digital records. For example, a WhatsApp chat, an email or even a PDF is now a valid legal document. This is very crucial in an era where scams and evidence are often digital. Fifth changes that BNS brings is it brings a wider definition of property. Under section 2 clause 21, movable property now includes both corporeal and incorporeal property, meaning it not just physical things like a bike or phone, but even intangible things like digital assets. Now, sixth key feature of the BNS that brings changes is it gives an extraterritorial reach, section 48. Now, even if someone abets a crime from outside India, but the crime happens in India, they can be punished. For example, a cyber criminal in Dubai planning fraud in India is still under BNS. 7 changes that BNS brings is protection for married women, age of consent. Earlier, IPC allowed marital intercourse with wives above 15 years. But in Independent Thought vs. Union of India 2017 case, the Supreme Court raised this to 18 years. Now, BNS makes it very clear that exception 2 of section 63 says marital intercourse below 18 years is punishable. This strengthens child rights aligning with POCSO Act. Next key changes, that is false promise to marry, is given under section 69. Here's an interesting addition. If a man has sexual relationship with a woman by deceit promising marriage without intention to marry, it's considered an offense. In the case of Mahesh Damukher vs. State of Maharashtra 2024, the Supreme Court said if the entire relationship is based on a false promise, then it's considered an offense. Now, another key changes that BNS brings is gender neutral reference. Earlier, IPC often said men, now BNS uses whoever. Example, voyeurism. Section 77 now applies to any offender, not just men. Similarly, procurement of any child, section 96 is not just for minor girls. It's more balanced and very inclusive. Another key changes that BNS brings is medical negligence that's given under section 106 clause 1. BNS gives a separate category for medical negligence. If a doctor causes death during treatment due to negligence, punishment is 2 years maximum plus fine. This is more liberal compared to other negligent act. It is totally respecting the complexity of medical work. So another changes that BNS brings is snatching, a new offense that is covered under section 304 of BNS. Snatching is now separately defined, punishment up to 3 years plus fine. Example, mobile phone snatching cases in cities are very common. Now they have a specific law in BNS. Another key changes that BNS brings is it says goodbye to sedition and said hello to section 152 of BNS. The colonial sedition law that was given under IPC 124A is gone, but BNS Act section 152, it says acts endangering sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. This means if someone excites rebellion, secession or gets separatist feeling from their nation, they can get life imprisonment or up to 7 years. So sedition did not disappear here. It just evolved into a new form. Several old and outdated provisions are gone. For example, sedition in IPC 124A replaced by section 152 in BNS, attempt to commit suicide 309 decriminalized, adultery section 497 gone after Joseph Shine vs. Union of India 2018 case, unnatural offences section 377 IPC removed after Navtej Johar vs. Union of India 2018 case. These reflects modern constitutional values of dignity, privacy and personal liberty. Now question is arised, it's very challenging in implementation. But is everything perfect? Not yet. Some challenges remain. In this situation, question arises in our mind, is that everything is perfect? Answer is not yet. Some challenges remain, such as community service, section 4 not clearly defined, section 152, the language in this is very vague and may be misused further. BNS overlap with special laws, for example, terrorism already covered under UAPA, but BNS also mentions it. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 is not just a new law, it's a new version of justice. It's about inclusivity, technology and reformative justice, but also about balancing freedom and sovereignty. The real test lies ahead, how courts interpret it, how police implement it, and how society adapts to it. So, next time you hear about BNS, remember, it's not just replacing a colonial law, it's shaping the future of justice in India.